Well, what do we have here? I believe there was a big ice raid that happened recently in a Hyundai fucking factory in Georgia, which is very, very interesting. Which is just kind of wild to me. Trump will talk consistently about wanting to bring back American manufacturing, and then the company, such as Hyundai, will send a bunch of their workers who are skilled laborers because, again, Trump does not understand how manufacturing works. He just thinks, like, well, you just go into like a random Ford somewhere, you click a button, you do a little thing, and then boom, that's done. It's like, no, there's skills that you have to learn on the fucking on the job, on the factory floor. It's not just as simple as like doing a little song and dance and then there you go, you make the fucking product. It's like, no, like it is skilled fucking labor. It's not as simple as just doing like a stupid dumbass thing and then the thing it gets made. But again, like Trump is incredibly fucking out of touch. He is an elitist. He doesn't understand how these things fucking work because he's just an out of touch fucking dumbass. Yeah, and he also like met with the fucking South Korean's president like 2 weeks ago, and he decides to do an ice raid and detain a bunch of South Korean workers who, mind you, had their fucking work visas to work within the United States of America, and he just decides to fucking detain them. But what do we have here? Attorney says detained Korean Hyundai workers had special skills for short-term jobs. Again, like American workers are fucking stupid morons and dipshits who have to be fucking taught how to do this shit, okay? Because they're not getting the fucking education for any of this stuff. So the company, if they want to hire American-born workers, have to bring in their own workers to show them how to do the particular skills on the factory room floor. And then we have all these like dumbass dipshits who decide to like send in the ice Gestapo freaks to put them in fucking chains, like literally put them in fucking chains, dude. Like actually fucking insane that he just decided to do that. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is ostensibly an allied nation. These aren't like random illegal Latino migrant workers that people like you consistently fucking scapegoat. This is an ally. Why are you doing this? Oh, because of Stephen Miller being a complete utter fucking freak when it comes to immigration with this like stupid ICE Gestapo quota system. Nonsense. Lawyer for several workers detained at a Hyundai factory in Georgia says many of the South Koreans rounded up in the immigration raid are engineers and equipment installers brought in for the highly specialized work of getting an electric battery plant online. Guys, it turns out the sort of like American idea of like manufacturing workers and the work within a factory being incredibly fucking easy, unskilled labor is a myth. Oh my god, I know, it's a complete utter shock that these like stupid troglodytes and out of touch morons that live within the United States seemingly don't understand this. I wonder why they don't understand it. Because they're all out of touch elitists and fucking morons. Atlanta immigration attorney Charles Kuck, who represents four of the detained South Korean nationals, told the Associated Press on Monday that many were doing work that is authorized under the B1 Business Visitor Visa Program. Oh, so they also had their fucking workplace visas, which just makes this even fucking stupider. All I have to say is, like, it's really, really fucking crazy and ridiculous because this is also the same shit that's been happening to Canadian citizens. There have been stories of Canadians who have been getting detained by ICE and deported by ICE who have had their fucking work visas. Oh, man. It turns out, guys, again, like I've been saying before, I think having a Gestapo quota system for your secret police, and that might be a bad thing. Might be a really, really bad thing. They had planned to be in the U.S. for just a couple of weeks and never longer than 75 days, he said. The vast majority of the individuals that were detained by U.S. immigration and customs enforcement that were South Korean were either there as engineers or involved in after-sales service and installation, Kuck said. It's really, really incredible. Like, the sort of, like, American, I suppose, mentality of, oh, dude, like, if you work at a factory, that means it's inherently just low-skilled labor. Like, you don't need, like, specialized equipment or specialized skills or, like, to go to special programs in order to do your fucking factory floor job. It's just, like, that's not exactly how that works. Like, I don't think that's ever been the case. Because in like, Trump's mind, he thinks, and I've said this before, he basically thinks that you listen, you go on the factory floor, you go in front of the blast furnace, and then you just hit a metal with the hammer, and that's manufacturing. That's how it works, folks. It's like, dog, that is the most demented interpretation and, like, most caveman, like, I don't know, 3 IQ brain dipshittery that I've ever heard of in my life. That's just not how that works. Like, it's simply put, it's just like, it's nonsense. It's just nonsense. The raid Thursday at the battery factory under construction at Hyundai's sprawling auto plant west of Savannah, whatever, resulted in the detainment of 475 workers, more than 300 of them South Koreans. Some were shown being shackled with chains around the hands, ankles, and waists in video released by about U.S. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. You know, I wonder, like, are they, like, these, like, dipshit morons, are they also gonna do, like, an ICE ASMR video where they, like, I don't know, like, slap the chains on the fucking ground for some fucking reason? It's just like, dog, what the fuck are you fucking doing, bro? Like, are you serious? Why are you people doing this? Oh, because the cruelty is the fucking point. Entirely the point. South Korea expects to bring its detainees home. South Korea's foreign minister was flying to the United States on Monday to secure his citizens' return on a charter flight to South Korea, where many people have expressed confusion, shock, and a sense of betrayal. Keep in mind, once again, South Korea, a very close ally to the United States of America. Well, the United States of America was the initial regime that set up their sort of, like, military dictator puppet regime, but you know, I wonder why the South Koreans are very, very close allies with America, and I guess Trump wants to, like, throw that all to the wind in order to, again, satisfy Stephen Miller, that fucking egg-headed fucking loser, his, like, I don't know, like, inherent whiny desires to be like, I want to deport as many people who aren't white. I have to get rid of them as many of them as possible. Yeah. And it's just like, bro, go back and, like, whine and bitch and complain about not getting any bitches on your dick or some shit, or, like, abusing your fucking wife or some shit. Fucking weirdo. President Trump said the workers were here illegally. They had visas. They had visas. If I were to take a guess, Hyundai, which is a big company, more than likely paid for and got their fucking work visas. That's what they do. That's what they do. They buy the visas in order to have people go there, train American workers, because American workers, you think that they know how to do these fucking manufacturing jobs that Trump wants to have so fucking badly? Oh, no. That's also another aspect of the fucking tariffs that I never really thought about or considered or talked about in any way, shape, or form. Are a lot of the training apparatuses in place in order to train all of these, like, supposed workers? Because more, like, very, very often I would talk about, like, Trump a sort of desire to want to create a manufacturing export economy vis-a-vis, like, the 1950s, back during the golden age of America. He wants to recreate that fucking economy, which was largely a manufacturing export economy. And it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, more than likely all those, like, training positions were gotten rid of as soon as the United States outsourced all those manufacturing jobs to become more tech sector service economy, and then now the gig economy that currently fucking exists within the United States of America. Are there really the people to train this sort of, like, new wave of workers that Trump is trying to incentivize? Again, we don't have to necessarily say that a manufacturing jobs in the recent jobs report has also fucking hit the fucking shitter. Like, it's just, they're bad in terms of all sectors. It's really, really bad. I think the only sector that saw any gain in terms of jobs was in the healthcare sector, but that's because of America's aging population, which would make sense, right? There needs to be a lot more healthcare and social workers for, I don't know, these like dumb fuck boomers that have, well, gotten us into the position that we're currently finding ourselves in, or at least they're one of the reasons why we are currently in the position that we find ourselves in. So it makes sense. There's probably a lot more healthcare workers that are being, I guess, onboarded. Onboarded? Sure, we'll say onboarded. We'll use that particular corporate term. Sure, whatever. Imagine if the UAE deported all of its American expats. Trump would throw the biggest fit, but but other way around, he's okay with it. I mean, he would be like, "Oh, listen, all of our Americans are they're coming back. They're so happy. We love the fact that all of our American expats, they're coming back. We want them to come back, folks. They're coming back for the lovely economy that I'm building. We're doing such a great job. Such a good job. We're doing the best job. Let me tell you, folks. So good." The U.S. needs to arrange with other countries to have their experts train U.S. citizens to do specialized work such as battery and computer manufacturing. But immigration lawyer Cuck, I have no idea if that's how you say his name. I feel so bad. Said no company in the U.S. makes the machines that are used in the Georgia battery plant. Oh my God! What a shocker! Whoa, the current manufacturing and factory is not there in place. Again, this is the same point that I consistently keep saying. Trump, this isn't factorial, okay? You don't just like take machine, plop it down, set the fucking goddamn recipe, and then whoa, you put the fucking necessary intermediary products, and it makes a product automatic. That's not how that works. That's a video game. Like, is this real life? Not a video game? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Trump is perpetually stuck like it's like the dude with the fucking Pip-Boy holding the Switch, doing like the soy face, saying like, my life is like a video game. Or, you know, maybe that's like the sort of mind state Trump is currently in or something, because it's definitely not in reality. So they had to come aboard to install or repair equipment on site. Work that would take about 3 to 5 years to train someone in the U.S. to do, he said. This is not something new, Cuck said. I'm just going to keep going with Cuck. I don't really care. We've been doing this forever, and we do it when we ship things abroad. We send our folks there to take care of it. The Japanese and Germans did it too, creating U.S. jobs. While neither government has revealed details about the workers' visas, it is not unusual for foreign companies to save time and money by sending workers from abroad to set up U.S. factories and then train U.S. workers, said Rosemary Coates, the executive director of the Reshoring Industry, a nonprofit that encourages U.S. manufacturing. Whoa. So, are you telling me that foreign companies, like, say, I don't know, like Audi or BMW, it's because German was mentioned there, so I thought of cars immediately, they're going to send their fucking specialists that they train in Germany in order to train American workers to be able to produce their products in their American sort of factories to make the fucking cars? Oh my God, it's crazy. And especially, like, considering the fact that very often, like, we all know the meme about, like, how cars are becoming more computer than car every single day. You need to have a lot of dudes who are very, very specialized in these sort of, like, probably fragile sort of, like, installation and programming know-how and knowledge in order to be able to properly sort of, like, implement the systems for the car to function. Like, for example, like, every single car now has, like, its own onboard computer with, like, a GPS system, for example, that you have to fucking have connected to the... I don't know if... Do car companies have their own satellite system, or did they just rely on, like, Google satellites or some shit? Or do they have, like, their own inherent GPS systems? I think they always have their own GPS systems, right? Wait, do a lot of car companies have a bunch of GPS satellites? Do you know, Boyance Mini? Because I feel like that's the case, but I'm not 100% certain on that one. I'm not a fucking car aficionado. All I know is that, like, cars are becoming more and more computer. No, they just rely on civilian GPS. Okay, so they rely probably on the differing satellites that have probably been launched up for fucking public purposes, for civilian purposes. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because I'm about to say, like, car companies have like their own like space fucking programs or some shit. That seems fucking wild. I'm like, yeah, I was about to say, there's no way they launched up their own fucking satellites. We saw the same happening here in the 80s with Japanese car makers setting up in U.S. factories, and in the 90s with German car makers, she said. A B1 visitor for business visa allows foreign workers to stay up to 6 months, getting reimbursed for expenses while collecting a paycheck back home. There are limits, for example. They can supervise construction projects, but can't build anything themselves. I guess that's a little... Really? That seems a little strange. I guess like the I guess the idea behind it is to sort of incentivize like no one for basically them to be as trainers, right? I guess that makes sense, right? But if it was spelled out in a contract that can install equipment, Los Angeles immigration lawyer Angelo Paparelli said. Also, South Korea is one of 41 countries whose citizens can use the U.S. electronic system for travel authorization, which provides a visa waiver if they can provide a legitimate reason for their visit, and this is basically gives them B1 visa status for up to 90 days, said immigration attorney Rita Sostrin in Los Angeles. Google provides a lot of their mapping data. You are right about that part, but there's CarPlay integration in new vehicles. Really? Huh. Because it's it's all shit like either done by Bluetooth, right? So you hook up your phone via Bluetooth, right? And that connects to the fucking car. Then you can use your apps, your Google Maps and all this other shit from your phone onto the fucking computer itself. But I know that there's also like inherent sort of like systems that are also used as well. Advocates called for the detained workers to be released during a news conference Monday at a church in Savannah, about 25 miles east of the site where Hyundai began producing electronic vehicles a year ago. Oh, I bet this is also another reason why, Trump is also going after them, is because of his hatred of electronic vehicles. Which is really, really funny because he used to work with Elon Musk. I guess he now hates Elon Musk or something. I don't fucking know. It's a complete fucking shit show. It's like, no, I actually hate electronic vehicles about as much as I hate those dastardly windmills, folks. And those fucking windmills. I hate them, folks. I hate them so much. Those dastardly, evil, evil windmills that are killing all the birds. Yeah, it's too much computer for him. It's too computer. I only remember American muscle cars. Who remembers the Chevy Camaro? I don't know if that's like a American muscle car or some shit. I don't know car culture, okay? Fuck you. Go with the example. It's too computer, folks. It's a little too difficult for me. I don't understand. I remember when it was just a steel frame with hardly any safety, and if you were to crash with the car, you'd probably die. Maybe that's why he has to get chauffeured around, because he's terrified of oh, maybe that's why he hates maybe that's why he hates the electric vehicles so much or something, right? He only remembers the 60s styles vehicles where if you were to get in a crash with them, there's hardly any safety measures. I don't even know if there were airbags installed on them. If you were to crash, you would probably die, and he was terrified of crashing his car or some shit. That's why he never drove around, maybe, Well, yeah. I mean, currently right now he's in no shape to drive a vehicle. His brain is leaking out of his fucking ears. But I'm saying maybe back in the 60s, maybe there was a fear there or something. I have no idea. Whatever. They included Sarah Park, president of the Korean American Coalition of Atlanta, who also said many of the detained South Korean workers had special skills needed to get the battery plant running. Because again, hey Trump, there's a reason why you need a lot of fucking people. Besides the fact that the batteries and also the plants are just not there to fucking begin with. A lot because of the transitions of the economy that have happened throughout the 80s and the fucking 90s to be a more tech sector service economy instead of a export manufacturing economy. A lot of the specialists and a lot of the people needed to teach the workers how to do their fucking job just don't exist anymore. Those positions don't exist. However, they exist in other countries. So the other countries that are the companies are based off of. Hyundai is a Korean car company. They send in a bunch of guys to be like, okay, this is how you do the thing. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got to do that with the machine. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada yada. And they get trained to do that stuff. But Trump doesn't get that. He just thinks again. You have to sit in front of the blast forge for
20 hours a day or some shit, hitting a piece of metal with the fucking hammer. That's how you forge the metal. You have to forge it with the hammer.
Daniela Rodriguez, Executive Director of Migrant Equity Southeast, said immigrants from Mexico, Guatemala, Colombia, Chile, Ecuador, and Venezuela also were detained. You got to get some of the Browns in there as well. Besides besides the South Koreans, got to go for the regular targets, of course. She said the group's Savannah office has been flooded with calls from family members of workers who they can't reach and presume are detained. Even some workers who weren't detained feel unsafe about returning to their jobs at the site, she said. And this is like the main fucking issue here. Boy Meets Smitty, I think you could probably attest to this. How many of these workers and how many of these small businesses who are relying on a lot of these fucking migrant workers are just not returning back to their posts within work because they're fucking terrified they may get randomly raided and detained by ICE? Like, that's the thing that's more than likely consistently happening. And it's not only like places of employment now, which are suffering because of this, but it's also when people go in to get their immigration hearings. That's the exact same thing that happened to Mos Madawi earlier this year. It's also people going to fucking hospitals if they get fucking sick. Who knows if there's like a weird ICE Gestapo freak ready there with his like fucking stick ready to beat a fucking minority or some shit with his fucking mask up so you can't fucking tell what his face looks like to hold him to fucking account. He's definitely not gonna have a badge or anything. And he just starts like beating with like a stick or some shit. Like, broadly speaking, do people understand just how ridiculous it is? Oh, and also like RFK Jr. deciding to violate HIPAA rights and giving ICE all that fucking information to go after those legal migrants. Very, very interesting. Even so, workers described seeing armed agents in military-style vehicles during the raid, Rodriguez said, while drones and helicopters hovered overhead. Really? You need drones and helicopters? What, you think they're gonna fucking make a break for it? So you need the fucking drones and helicopters there? Seriously? A lot of Hispanic people have left service, farm, and construction jobs. I'm super lucky I work remote in tech because don't ask me how many times cops have thought I'm Mexican. I'm Indian. I could probably make the assumption, Boy Meets Smitty. I've seen what you look like. She said one woman who had a work permit and wasn't detained told her, "We felt like we were being followed as animals, like they were hunting for us." A Savannah labor union leader said local unions have complained that Hyundai and its contractors were improperly using South Korean workers for basic construction that falls outside of visa waiver rules. Christy Hume, president of the Savannah Regional Central Labor Council, said unions that are part of her council believe Korean workers have been pouring cement, erecting steel, performing carpentry, and fitting pipes. Basically, our labor was being given to illegal immigrants. Any evidence for this whatsoever? Wasn't there like a TikTok of someone? Was it this fucking stupid dipshit who was saying like, I saw these guys basically like, basically with like, I saw their papers. I saw they didn't have any visas or anything. They're illegal migrants. What President Trump is doing is correct. And it's just like, there's like no evidence for this whatsoever. It's like a random fucking person that's like claiming this, but it's like there's no evidence. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? Spokespersons for Hyundai's Georgia EV factory and the adjacent battery plant did not immediately reply to an email message seeking comment. Appearing before his departure at a legislative hearing where many lawmakers lamented the American operation, Foreign Minister Cho Hyun called the raid by South Korea's closest ally a very serious matter. If U.S. authorities detain hundreds of Koreans in this manner, almost like a military operation, how can South Korean companies investing in the U.S. continue to invest properly in the future? That's a very, very interesting. Yeah, hey, Trump, do you really think that people, for all the trillions and trillions of dollars that I'm bringing into the United States, it's so hot, folks, so hot. Yeah, totally. Do you really think that if they were to send in their fucking workers from their country to help train American workers to be able to do those fucking jobs, do you really think that they're going to want to fucking keep investing in that sort of factory that was put there in order to train the fucking workers, in order to build the vehicles that he wants to be built, if it's just going to get randomly raided by fucking ICE Gestapo freaks consistently? Like, seriously? Like, broadly speaking, do people understand just how, like, it's completely stupid and fucking idiotic. But then again, it's all about the cruelty and the stupid idiocy because he doesn't understand how the fucking economy works. Nonsense. Some lawmakers called for retaliatory investigations of Americans who allegedly work illegally in South Korea. Good. Spite. Be repository. Listen, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, but the fucking United States is trying to slash at everyone's eyes. So fuck it. How about we start slashing at your fucking eyes instead? Fuck you. Like, eat shit. You can only tolerate that shit for so long. Experts say the raid won't likely prompt any major tit-for-tat measures, given how much the country depends on the U.S. for security, in deterring potential North Korean aggression and other spheres of cooperation, including business ties. This was the Homeland Security Agency's largest workplace raid yet, as it pursues its mass deportation agenda, and it targeted Georgia, a symbol of bilateral cooperation where many large South Korean businesses operate and plan future investments. Only weeks ago, South Korea promised hundreds of billions of dollars in U.S. investments to reach a tariff deal. Oof, and that must have been from the recent presser that he more than likely had with the South Korean president, where for whatever reason he decided to soy out about how much Kim Jong-un fucking likes him for some reason, because again, the only reason why Trump does stuff like that is because he just wants so desperately to be a fucking dictator. Like, he is so fucking ridiculously desperate for that fucking shit. And it's just like, dog, like, that's not the fucking, I don't know, like, own that you like, or soy thing. Like, you soying out for that is not like the I don't know, the seal clap, like, soy thing to do or some shit. Like, that's not like the own that you think it is. Like, it's just an embarrassment. Like, why the fuck are you doing that? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, they're promising to do something and give you a deal on the tariffs, and you're just like, well, North Korea. I love North Korea. They're like my favorite guys. A rogue state with nuclear weapons that are constantly threatening to bomb us all the fucking time. Like, really? Really? It's complete nonsense. Trump and South Korean President Lee Jae-myung held their first summit in Washington on August 25th. The way Trump is pressuring the Korean government and inflicting damages on its people is very rough and unilateral. Unilateral? Yeah, unilateral. Said Kim Tae-woo, former head of South Korea's Institute for National Unification. Can this be forgotten easily in South Korea? In a long-term perspective, it won't be good for the U.S. national interests as well. But yeah, I don't know. Like, this, who would have thought that this, like, complete dumbass raid was really fucking stupid, and that Trump is just doing this because he just doesn't understand how an economy works, and he doesn't understand how factory management works. He doesn't understand how any of this fucking shit works. Like, did he listen to, like, I don't know, some, like, stupid freak within ICE or DHS or, like, Stephen Miller want to say, like, we have to do this raid, there's a bunch of illegals in there, even though there's, like, no evidence presented for it at all, and he just said, like, oh, okay, we're gonna do it. Because, like, he thinks, like, it's supposed to be only Americans that are teaching Americans how to do the fucking jobs of installing the batteries and creating the batteries for the fucking electronic vehicles. Or maybe it's because he just hates the electronic vehicles. I wouldn't put it past him. He is that stupid, petty, and spiteful. Like, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't be, like, surprised if that were the case. As well. Like, what else are you supposed to say besides, this is incredibly stupid. It's an embarrassment. You're doing it to one of your closest allies. And, as expected, people are going to begin to trust the U.S. even less and less, and probably look to go their own way. So, man, who would have thought? It's a crazy and ridiculous concept, the concept of trust. That, I wonder why people might not really like you all that much on the fucking world stage. Because a lot of the stuff that happens within trade deals, within alliances, are built off of trust. And if you have a guy who doesn't fundamentally believe in that fucking concept, can you really believe that they're going to be wanting to work with you in the fucking future? I doubt that. Countries around the world need to keep being reminded that they have to disentangle their economies and supply lines away from the U.S. Oh, 1,000 fucking %. Yeah, fucking. Hey, Mark. Listen, I'm jingling the keys for Mark Carney here. Hey, stop trying to fucking, like, suck the dick of Donald Trump. Like, it's not gonna fucking do anything. Hey, what happened to fucking elbows up, Carney? Wait, I thought the elbows were supposed to be up. Well, that's a little weird. That's a little strange. Wonder why they're not up. Nonsense. Well, I guess it is supposed to be expected from fucking Mark Carney, he's just a fucking conservative. But that's besides the point. But yeah, as expected, whoa, it turns out having a quota system for your Gestapo is a bad thing. Yeah, it's actually a fucking bad thing. And wanting to just like throw a bunch of people into a hole so they can get fucking deported somewhere, also kind of a fucking bad thing. And this is all being done by a fucking egg-headed freak and their weirdo fucking collection of Nazi Barbies, as well as a president whose brain is leaking out of his fucking ears and barely seems to understand how anything really much works. So, I don't know. Like, I don't like. What else is there to say besides this raid is fucking stupid? The president is fucking stupid. Everybody is fucking stupid. All the fascists are fucking stupid, and I fucking hate the fascists because they're just stupid, dumb morons, and they just want to cause harm. For what purpose? I don't know. Probably because they weren't bullied enough. Yeah, I don't know. They weren't fucking bullied enough in school. I don't think there's really much else to say besides, well, Trump's a fucking idiot.